What's up, guys? Welcome to an episode of Pushing the Lines Quick Hits. It's me, Magic Bets, and my homeboy at Mike B's Bets. Now, there's something that's hot on the stove right now that we just need to talk about it. We couldn't schedule a show. We can't put it in our notes to talk about it later, and we're just going to talk about it fresh. Robert Salah and the New York Jets. He is out of there.
86th exit stage left, sir.
Now, I know you and I have had our conversations about this, and you said it's long overdue. He went what was it? First year 4-13, 7-10,
Yeah,
7-10, and this year he's 2-3. I mean, he pretty much lost the team.
I think that's why he's gone. He had to go because Rogers is staying, and I
Roger
think that's just pretty much the bottom line of it.
Rogers is staying, and there was a rumor that Nathaniel Hackett's job was on the line up until the point that Salah got fired. Now, if you
Hmm.
don't know who Hackett is, Hackett was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay when Rogers played his last season there, and then he went to Denver, didn't do a good job, got fired, and now he's the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets.
Yeah, so pretty much they've done everything they can. The owner Woody Johnson, the GM Joe Douglas, they've done everything they can to appease Aaron Rodgers. They got him Lazard, they got him his offensive coordinator. This is Aaron Rodgers' team,
So
and
I had to
go ahead.
cut you off,
No,
but
go ahead.
I'm glad you said something about them doing everything they can to appease Aaron Rodgers, because something tells me that some more news is going to come out that there was some friction, and it's going to have to do with Devontae Adams trade, because he is getting traded somewhere this week,
Hmm.
no later than next week. Something tells me that he wanted to come to New York, or Aaron Rodgers wanted him to come to New York, and Robert Salah probably stopped that.
Yeah, it's gonna be more coming out. I'm pretty sure it'll be more coming out, probably from the players aspect of it. Because, like you said, it's they just didn't wake up this morning and be like, you know what, we need a change. Now, they always put out the same little whatever they put out, the owner and the GM, that we just needed a change. It's been 5 games. The defense is playing great. The defense is doing what the defense is supposed to do. The person that you're appeasing is the one that's not doing what he's supposed to do. And it's stats to back that up. Like they just not looking good on offense, which you had earlier brush ups in the preseason during training camp. Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. You see Garrett Wilson, he was getting on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers skipped mandatory minicamp, and the report was Garrett Wilson wanted him there, wanted him to play maybe in some preseason games so they could get these reps. So now you 5 games in. The chemistry there is not there. Now it's getting better as time has gone along because he had a great game. I believe he had like 12 catches, 100 and something yards Sunday against the Vikings. But the receiver played well. The person throwing him the ball had 3 interceptions. So
Now,
go ahead.
now there was one play where I saw him throw to Gary Wilson, and he was trying to put it where only Gary could get it, but it was a back shoulder throw. Now, if he had been in training camp, like you said, they might have a better rapport, and he might have known exactly where Aaron Rodgers wanted him to be. It has nothing to do with talent, but it has to do with reps.
Yeah, a lot of these offenses in the NFL today is timing offenses. That's why the Dolphins look so bad right now. That offense is predicated on Tua and timing. That's why Tyreek Hill looks so he's so bad you can think about benching him in fantasy right now. We're not gonna go too far in this. And another thing, I don't understand why they're not running the ball. You got Braylon Allen and you got Brees Hall. Brees Hall over these last 3 games got 35 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Derrick Henry get that in 3 quarters in Baltimore now. Brees Hall is a hell of a pass catching running back. I don't understand why you're not getting them involved. It's so much more to this offense. And, as I was seeing today on multiple outlets, it was said that all this team needed was a quarterback. Now you want to go out and you want to get Devontae Adams, and that's fine. If you can get him and he comes there, that's great. But at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers hasn't really been playing well. Even before he got to New York, he had his worst statistical season since 2007 when he broke his collarbone. He had his least amount of yards since 2013 and his most interceptions since 2008. So even if you do bring Devontae Adams in, it may help Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers just got to play well. You got to get these running backs involved. You got to somehow get the camaraderie in this team to where they're all buying into this new interim head coach, which oddly enough is the defensive coordinator, which says a lot about Nathaniel Hackett.
Jeff Aldrich.
Yeah. So he's the interim head coach right now. So everybody had this team picked to go far. This team right now is in much dysfunction. It's not over with. It's gonna be more that's gonna come out about this. You can believe that.
Now you know what tells me that they expected Robert Salah to act an ass on his way out the building. They
Like,
had security escort him out. Normally, if you get fired, you at least offered the opportunity to address the team on your way out. They didn't
yeah,
give that man that option. They had the head of security. Go on, get him on up out of here.
yeah. See, and I didn't know that. And they were so steadfast on getting A Rod. You remember the reports? Lamar was willing to leave Baltimore if another team would have paid him. You had all the other collusion stuff, but it was three other quarterbacks that are playing well than Aaron Rodgers the year that he was in free agency. Now, whether they was restricted or not, but I don't know. You got Geno Smith in Seattle leading the league in passing. You got Baker Mayfield playing some of his best ball he's played in Tampa Bay. And you got Lamar, the reigning MVP. You had your choice of those three. You didn't have to just you put all your cards and all your eggs in one basket and you went out for Aaron Rodgers. Now you stuck with it. Now
Yeah.
you got to hope somehow Aaron Rodgers can find that 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers and start playing like that. And with a shaky offensive line, you can't get the run game going. Don't none of that got nothing to do with Devontae Adams.
And
So,
don't get me wrong. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong,
mm,
but aren't the Jets going into a Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills?
and as crazy and as bad as shit is, if they win that game, they in first place.
Prime time.
Prime time. So you have to win that. If you win that game, you're in first place. So if I'm Devontae, I'm looking at what's going on because you're leaving dysfunction to come to dysfunction. Now I know you love Aaron Rodgers. I know you love Derek Carr. They didn't look good last night. Derek Carr got hurt. Those are his two preferred places. New Orleans, I don't think that's gonna happen. But you got the Jets. This ain't the Aaron Rodgers that you used to play with, Devontae. Now,
Now,
go ahead.
sometimes dysfunction is not so bad when it's familiar dysfunction.
Correct.
He knows Aaron Rodgers. He knows how Aaron Rodgers operates.
Mm-hmm.
So if Aaron Rodgers is running that team now, which is pretty much what's happening, then he knows what he's into.
Yeah.
It won't be the same thing if he goes to New Orleans.
Right. And I don't think that it's necessarily dysfunction in New Orleans. They just don't look right. Them first two games, they look like the '99 Rams, the greatest show on turf. These last two games, they just look like the Dennis Allen New Orleans Saints.
Hey man, I'm so disappointed about the way Derek Carr played last night. He lost me $125. Well, he
I,
lost me
I,
120. I made five, but he lost me 120 because if he had a hit, I would have had 125.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Man,
Chris Olave, that's another thing, but that's a reflection of Derek Carr. But yeah, this is hot news, man. It's all over sports news right now. I mean, honestly, we knew it was gonna happen. I don't think we knew it was gonna happen today.
Yeah, I figured he'd at least get to the end of the season, then they could see who all's out there. But
Yeah,
now's a good time for them to start tanking, and maybe Shador Sanders will be in New York next year.
I don't even think they're gonna do it. I don't think
Oh,
if you tank, you're gonna have an even bigger problem on your hand with Aaron Rodgers because he there to win the Super Bowl.
Well,
If you thinking about bringing in Devontae Adams with a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, you can't tank because then you're gonna have two huge other problems on your hand.
I don't even think it's a situation of tanking. I think it's going to be a situation of continued bad play. Like you said, defense is doing their part. But
Yeah,
if that offense does not do their part, they're not going to win a lot of games.
not, and that's the problem. I can see them getting better. It's good. It's done now. Robert Salah, he's gone. So now you just got to go play football. If it was a rift between him and Aaron Rodgers or whatever it may be in upper management, whatever it was, that problem is gone. So now, only thing you can do, you gotta get your ass out there and you gotta go play football now.
Yep,
You got to be a better quarterback. You got to get these running backs involved to get some of the pressure off your ass because every time he dropped back, he really don't have much. Minnesota was all on Aaron Rodgers. And
yep.
you've
Their
never.
turnovers.
When was the last time you seen teams comfortable blitzing Aaron Rodgers? That don't happen. We talking about one of the top five as far as just reading defenses and putting the ball where it need to go. He's probably top five, if not top three, at breaking down defenses and ball placement. And teams are blitzing him because they know he don't have time. His receivers are not getting open, and they're not getting the running backs involved. The play action pretty much is non-existent for the Jets right now. He don't even have time to do it. So those are little small nuances that they're gonna have to figure out, man. But I think this defense can win them at least 4 ball games. They need to figure out how to win 4 more, and that'll get them 10 wins. They'll be 10-7, and at least go to the playoffs.
Very valid points. All right, look, I got things I need to do, but we need to talk about this while it's hot. Let's dig a little more into it, and we might add some of this to our next show. But
Yeah,
everybody, it's hot on the press, and we hit you with it. Stay tuned, see if anything that we felt comes true, and we'll holler at you later.
we out. See y'all.